Hey Vibemakers, it's Lila with LB Novelties, and today I'm going to be coloring in these awesome downloadable prints that Rongrong has on her website. They are free for you to do. They're coloring sheets. I actually printed mine out on sticker paper because I want to use these in a creative format in the future. So I'm just going to color these in and bring you along as I color them in. Rongrong is one of my absolute favorite illustrators, and she actually collabs with the Happy Planner to bring some really amazing products. This is one of my favorite sticker books that have come out recently in the spring release, the Going Places. I actually bought another one because as being part of Squad, I received one in my Squad box, and I went back and bought one more at Michael's prior to the stay-at-home orders. So I really do love these, and I printed out these two options to just have on hand when I decide to use them in a creative format. So let's get to it and having fun coloring these in. Okay, so the first one I'm going to color in is this one that says Going Places. It's kind of like a travel theme because it's going to make me excited to eventually travel whenever I can. And what I'm going to do is bring out just a sheet of paper to kind of test out my markers. I use these markers. These are alcohol-based markers, and I use two brands. I use the Copic one and then also Artist Loft. Both of them are available at any of your local craft stores. This is a little bit more of a higher end, if you could say, and this is a little bit more inexpensive, but again, both of them really great quality. The one thing I will say is this one tends to last a little bit longer. It doesn't dry out as much as this one, but I still love both of them. Just wanted to give you that in regards to my markers that I use. And I'm going to be using this, like I said, to swatch colors and figure out what I want to color these out. So I want to start out with this palm leaf. And if you didn't see, Rongrong actually did lives, and I think she'll be doing some more in the future because she has been doing a lot of coloring with me lives. The last one I saw was the Disney Princess one, and that one was really cool to see. Just trying to test out some of these colors. And like I said, this one tends to dry out a little bit more, but it still works perfectly fine. So I want to look for a base color, and then I like to go in with a darker tone to add definition to like this one. So this is, in case you're wondering, this is YG11 in the Copic color. So I'm just going to go ahead and start coloring this in. And why I like using alcohol-based markers is just what I've been used to using when doing really nice detailed drawings. I actually have a bachelor's degree in interior design, and when we did classes for our renderings, we used alcohol-based markers. At the time, I believe we used Pixma. I can't remember the name of the brand. But through time, I did research and found that Copic is a really great brand. The markers are a little bit more expensive, but like I said, they last a little bit longer, so it's worth the investment. But if you're still wanting to try out an alcohol-based marker and just want to give it a try, I would definitely recommend Artist Loft. Sometimes they sell large sets. Last time I bought one, I believe it's like $75 for, I think it's 36 markers the set. But I used my coupon. Don't think I actually spent $75. I used my 60% off coupon, so I think I got it for $30. I can't exactly remember the numbers, but yeah, it's really great to try and use coupons as much as you can because it's all about saving that money. So now I'm going in with this darker green just to outline it, and I'll probably go in with a different green. And I just like to kind of add detailing like this. And when you're doing this, always start small. Like when I mean small, just kind of start with the base of outlining it, and then you can always go back in and add more detail because you can't really erase marker. So I would say start simple, especially if this is your first time playing with art markers. So that's basic outline. And then you can actually start to add detail like this. So I like to kind of add different way of direction for your marker. And then you can add a little bit thicker line like that. And see how it starts to kind of add detailing? like I said, just start simple, and then you can always go back and add more. And follow kind of the direction of whatever you're drawing, or excuse me, marking in. There's a curve here, so you want to go in a curve format instead of going straight. For this center, when you see a leaf, it has the veining of it going this way. So it's kind of just playing with the concept of what you're actually coloring in. I zoomed it in a little bit closer so you can actually see this. Hopefully that works a little bit better. Now I'm just, like I said, I'm trying out some different colors, and I think I like this one. And I'm just gonna kind of blend this in with that one. And this is YG06. And then the other one, the darker green, was G07. Okay, that looks really cool. Now for this, I think I want to kind of add a little bit of dimension to it with a darker green. I might actually use a gray, just depending on how dark I can kind of get it. I think this is nice. So I'm just going to add it on a couple of areas just to outline it a little bit. And that's just what I like to do. And what I like to do is I don't take the line straight down. I like to leave a little bit of a gap. I think it looks a little bit nicer like that. And then I'm just filling in these little center parts of the palm leaf, just like that. And see how it kind of just adds dimension? Now if you wanted to, you can kind of, I'm doing it really lightly, just add a little bit of detail for the veining part of it. And I'm really happy with that, how that looks. So I'm going to bring that up closer so you guys can see this and see. Just my palm leaf detailing. Okay, so I've colored in my palm leaves, and I'm just grabbing my white jelly because this is a really great way to add some highlight to anything. And I'm just adding a couple of these on my palm leaves, and that looks really good. I'm really happy with how they turned out. So now we're gonna go into coloring this tote right here. Okay, just gonna start with this marker. This is B00, and this is the frost blue. So I'm starting with the light base and then building it. So what I always like to do is start with a light base or light color, and then you can always build up with a darker tone. It's easier to build up with a darker tone because if you start with a darker tone, then it's really hard to get it into a lighter tone if you wanted to add light to it. And this one is BG15 Aqua. Again, just gonna add a little bit of detail. So I'm just gonna do that as this stripe, and then I'll go in with some darker detail. Right, this is going to be just to outline this. Now I'm only going to outline one side because it's kind of casting like a shadow, just to kind of create dimension. And then I'm going to go in with a different blue for the detailing portion that I wanted to incorporate. And then just adding a little bit more detail. Now for this, I think I do want to incorporate a little bit of a different tone, so maybe like a little bit of a lavender. Just to play off of the aqua. Okay, so I didn't realize that the camera had lost battery and stopped filming, so I just colored this in with a couple of markers. I ended up using beige from Artist Loft, and then I used hazelnut to kind of trim around it, and then to add a little bit of more shading into this, I used, where is it, sand, and that's just that little bit of shading here, and then I just used a pink marker from Copic. And right now what I'm doing is I colored in my letters with Iris from Artist Loft, and I am filling in these little sparkle details with V04 Lilac from Copic. So I'm just going to fill these in, and I'm going to bring out my white jelly. Okay, so I am using the Uniball Signo Pigment Ink in White. I really love this one to just add a little bit of sparkle effect into any detail you have. Just pretty handy. And then I'm just going to add like that, a little bit of detail, so you could do like that, and then a dot. It's just a fun little way you see sometimes when you see comics do their illustrations, and I think that just makes it look kind of more like a balloon lettered effect. So I'm using light blue from Artist, and then you can always go back and add more to this with the same marker to add a little bit more definition, like shade a different color for the straw. Alright, so I wanted to show you another thing in case you happen to color something and you didn't want it to be the color, you wanted to leave it white. For example, the heart. I went ahead and colored it in because I wanted to show you. Again, you can just use your white jelly pen and color over where you messed up. So that's an example. And then you'll bring the white back. Okay, so I just added some white lines, and that kind of creates that reflection. And then you can even do it like right here, like that. And I just love adding those little bit of highlights to anything. So I'm going to keep coloring this in, and I probably will only do this one tonight, and I'll leave this for another day. But I want to show you this as a finished product. And this one I'm actually going straight to the hot pink, and I'm just going to add details with a darker shade and the white jelly pen. So I'm using this red just to create dimension for this circle. So I'm just going to create it. And whenever you're creating dimension, if you're doing like a shading effect, like trying to create shadow, do it in the same direction. So if you do it here, you're going to do it in the same direction. You don't do it the opposite end for these circles. Now, you always follow wherever the shadow is being cast. So for example, here you would see a shadow, and right here. And you would see it right underneath this, if that makes sense. So it's like a spotlight's hitting here, and you would see the shadow on this side of the element that you're drawing, right underneath here. And see how it just kind of creates that dimension, and it makes you understand that the lighting's hitting this direction. And now I'm going to bring in the highlighting effect. I'm just going to do this, so that lets me know that the light is hitting above here. Okay. I love how that looks. It just kind of makes it look a little bit more three-dimensional to me. Okay, so I'm bringing out, what is this one? Lavender for my sandals. So I'm really super grateful to Rongrong for having these coloring sheets available for us to color in. Staying in the same family grouping of color in these like purple tones. That looks really cool. Now to create a little bit of shadow, I'm using the same color of the strap just on the edge right here to create that dimension. Okay, so for the flower, I'm gonna start light inside. I'm gonna make it a really bright, vibrant, kind of like pinkish red. But again, like I said, I like to start light and then build out from that color. So say I left that in there. All right, for the leaves, I'm gonna do the same concept as I did with the other leaves, just filling in with this lighter tone and then going in and outlining it. So I'm just gonna speed this up so you guys can see that. Okay, so now for the flower, just one little last detail is adding that little bit of highlight. And for the flowers, I think it looks really pretty when you add that little dot. But I'm not going to do it to every petal, just like that. That looks really pretty. And just a couple of little details, some highlights on some of these leaves. And there you go. I'll bring that up close so you can see how easy it is to add just like that line with a dot. Alright, so we just have 2 more things to color in, the book and the sunscreen. Before I color this in, I'm going to start in with a softer yellow. So this will be the base, and then I'll go in and color it with the bright yellow. That's pretty good. And then just go to the book. Alright, so for the book, I want to use Going Places Mini from Rongrong, and the reason I want to do that is I pulled out this girl. Since this is a Rongrong design, I think it'd be really cool to incorporate one of her girls in the book, kind of like we are using her illustration book. So I'm just going to cut this girl a little bit, and then it looks kind of like a magazine, fashion magazine. And why I laid her down is because she has this white outline around her from sticker paper. So when I color it, I want to make sure I color that portion too. So now I'm going to color that. Just got to figure out what color. Since she's kind of rocking a blue outfit, I think I want to do like blue. So I'm going to start out with this first. This is Frost Blue. I think that's perfect. And see how now it looks like she's actually part of the book because I'm coloring around this sticker paper. So let me see if I can bring that up close. So this is sticker paper right there. So that's a little trick. If you want to use one of the stickers to kind of make it look like it's part of the book, just lay it down and then color around it. Oh, it's really cool. And I'm just going to add some highlight. Keep it really simple, like that. Alright, Vibemakers, so I finished this sheet and I will finish this later on. That way I have something to do to keep my mind busy. But I really love how this turned out. I'm going to bring this up close enough so you guys can see all the little details. Like I said, it's really nice to add some shading and then some of the highlighting with the white jelly. And it just kind of gives that dimensional look. And then I really love how the palm leaves looked. This was a 4-layer process because I started with the light green and then I went into this darker green to add some detailing. And then I went back in with that lime green that I showed you. And finally this very dark sage green. Just to add detailing, and then I did add some of the white highlighting there, but it just gives it a really beautiful dimensional look. This one I love too, how easy it was to kind of add different tones to build up to create that kind of 3-dimensional look. Like I said, it makes the petals look circular instead of flat, because that's the point of doing shading and highlighting, is to help your drawings come to life and look 3-dimensional instead of looking flat on the paper, if that makes sense. And again, I loved adding this white highlighting here for the letters to make it look like bubble letters. And then you can always dress up any sticker or design. I just laid down a Rongrong sticker and then colored over the white portion of the sticker, and came out really super cute. And then this one I will definitely color in and show you guys on my Instagram stories the final look of this. But this was so much fun to do. Again, like I said, I just printed this out on Avery shipping labels, and I'm going to trim this around and stick this on something fun. So stay tuned to see how I use this creatively. But if you want to download these coloring pages. I believe they still are free. Just head over to www.shoprongrong.com. And then you can always purchase more of her coloring sheets. She sells coloring sheets, I believe in like sets. So you could definitely keep adding to your collection of sheets that you color from Rongrong. And she also, like I said, has a collection with the Happy Planner. You can purchase her sticker books through the Happy Planner website or also at your local craft store. I really love her new collection that she came out with. Going places, everyday fitness, they're just so beautiful. I'd love to add these illustrations on any spread that I have. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found some fun tips on how to color. And get out there, have fun. Bring out colors, coloring pencils, markers, pens, whatever it is that you use to have fun creating. And as always, guys, peace